The fly slept frozen in the frost surface on the bark of a tree next to the cemetery of Quarter Hope. The fly dreamed black and white pictures and heard the humming sounds from these images. She dreamed dreams from faraway places, dreams that came to her chambered head from the endless abyss of that space, and had traveled millions of years to reach her. Then the signals ricocheted off her and headed back to return once more to where they had come from. The visions of the fly were clear and pure, but if a man looked at these images, for him everything in them would be formless and incomprehensible. The fly dreamed pictures of immense figures slowly rising on distant horizon amid the surface of unknown world built of rock and steel. The figures danced slowly, rising first on hand like a growl, lowering that hand and raising the other hand like a whip. The next moment they raised all of their hundred of cable-kite-like arms with vaguely snake-like roots and fingers, and the horizon was darkened by them, because these hands were countless and infinitely long, expanding beyond the outline of the surreal painting drawn from imagination of a mad artist. Figures rose from black, bottomless chasms. Infinitely long tubes emerged from the abyss among the figures, which twisted like the tongue of titanic rudder bands, and boundless tree trunks, and rises up towards the sky, frozen in a deadly warm smile from a quivering frozen star. The shivering moaning on the dying star seeped into every grove of deformed life, causing the life to wither away, ensnared in the eternal agonizing suffering of the star, killing and life itself. As the light that, surrounded by crystallized rock, the rock absorbed the star's lifeline, charging its own crystalline structure. This happened in the distant systems. This system was remote, and there were no witnesses to the phenomenon. The phenomenon had been going on for centuries, undisturbed by any presence. And if by chance an unknown form passed across the space around the star from the form disappeared, swallowed up by the invisible mouth, and drawn into the depth of subspace by the invisible hands, laid like traps everywhere in the space around the star. These were the subspace machines of the visitors, passing inside into the throat of interdimensional tunnels. The warps of the Soarbnoms infect the dimension themselves, slowly changing the world they have infiltrated. Sometimes these subdimensional tunnels formed an entire network of interconnected mechanical circularity system, entwining tens and hundreds of worlds with other star systems, and this way facilitating the movement of the visitors between the stars. In some cases, the star system may be infected by only one throat, but that throat is there, and by its presence it gives the promise of future expansion. The ancient technological artifacts building created by the Auranumiacans left behind as a testament to the next generation of inhabitants, causing cosmic matter to grow, and by this way causing the universe itself to grow. Some of the machines of this mighty power are connected to the great meaning at the center of the entire existence, a building also known as the Temple of Meaning. The knowledge locked in this temple is perhaps constructed from meaning itself, and has the power to change the meaning of everything and anything it comes into contact with. Meaning is passed away by word, sound, vibration, and sometimes throughout certain pictures, visions, images, signals, or smells. Anything created by the machine of great meaning, also known as the componentarium, cannot be destroyed by ordinary forces, because it is connected to the componentarium itself. The componentarium is an inexplicable phenomenon, contrary to the principle of existence. Some claim that the componentarium is a strange combination of a natural phenomenon mastered in the form of the technology, but these are cursory attempts to explain this phenomenon. This was one of many ancient and high sarcophagus engines. The numerology number machine, symbolizing the universe as numerological symbols, and signs each containing one existent and governing that existence. The Soarbnoms had a replica of this machine in their workshop. The Soarbnoms used their crafted replica components of all of the componentarium's mechanical organs to rebuild, recreate, or outright create certain forms into existence. The Soarbnoms, these refugees, immigrants, and settlers from the perishing systems of Sumatarus, escaped throughout the wounds of their expiring existence, flowing into the hollows formed by the collapse of cosmic currents from their universe into the body of the interuniverse, and flowing outward into all that exists beyond. At first, the refugees were unassuming. It was enough for them just to survive. But as their parasite ships and flying saucers made numerous inter-universe jumps, and their inter-universe colonies became permanently established in a number of existences, allowing this transmigration. The star wanderers herded the loose inter-universes sectors with cybernetic representing inter-universe iconomical gates. Their metalloid epidermal, also known as metadermis, alloy, and protective exoskeletal coating system are filled with primal stone. In its current state, this fluid is liquefied to act as a blood and all other necessary substance for these creatures. This variation of Roswellian Xenoids crashed on the primordial world millions of years ago, remaining in deep anonymity inside their scavenging predator ships. The Impregnants are predatory sieges, dedicated ecologists, eco-protectors and bringers of the new meaning. These theologians, lords of poison flies and lobotomized young offspring, abducted from millions of worlds of unsuspecting inhabitants, wander among the stars of existence, examining and preaching the doctrine of the great meaning. Unescaped from the crumbling fabric of their dying universe and their bubble called Chasmos, these refugees who survived the wars back into the dark universe by passing through the thwarts of interdimensional tunnels now found refuge among the parallel universes and in the universe harboring the Milky Way. The warps of the Soarbnoms infect the dimensions themselves, changing the structure of the world they have infiltrated. Their invisible presence often leaves very visible trace, unable to be healed by the wounded, bleeding worlds that have suddenly become their patients. Traveling among the eternal organs of subspace in inner existence of the universe, impregnants remain unsuspected and innocent of any transgressions committed among the stars, free from almost any movement restrictions. Impregnants Soarbnoms also have preferred methods of movements. One of them is the Growling Technologies. Among the Growling Technologies are cursing ships, growling ships, also known as ships of terror. Ships of terror are equipped with blades to tear apart the vacuum of space, thus moving more easily. These are mostly flying saucers filled up with all sorts of mechanical perversions, ferocious mutants, and field gashing and erupting, and in fountains of pus and biological waste, dousing everything these ships fly over.